Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the first of our Crusader Kings 3 tutorials. In this little series, we're going to debut some of the features of the game, go through them in hopefully a good level of detail and explain most of the things you will need to know to start playing. This is not going to be an exhaustive tutorial. I won't explain everything because that would probably be impossible. This game is incredibly large with many features, many of which I probably don't understand enough to explain. But I will certainly do my best to get the basics and explain plenty of detail to be able to play and enjoy the game. So, I have loaded in, we are doing the tutorial because A, it's a nice start, and B, the actual game tutorial will give me something to talk about because I don't really know where to start, so I'm just using the game's tutorial as a guide. I may then continue the save with other videos designed to debut specific topics, like I could do a video on war in this save or whatever people feel most needs focusing on. So do let me know that in the comments and I'll see where we go from here. But for the moment, we're going to go through the tutorial, which is a very basic introduction to most of the elements of the game. And I'll explain what I'm pressing, I'll elaborate where I need to. Hopefully I won't talk too much, hopefully I won't talk too little. Let me know if there's anything I don't cover well enough, and I'll come back and get it again in another video. But nonetheless, let's begin. So, as you probably already know, this game is played through OCR. So I'm going to use NVDA with insert OR to scan the screen. And this is the first tutorial screen.
Tutorial, welcome to Crusader Kings 3.
And I'm going to let it do the little introduction.
You are a medieval ruler. Your reign may be brief, but through your heirs you can bring your dynasty to prominence. Land is yours for the taking, by way of the sword or through marriage, and clever diplomacy can extend your reach far beyond the wildest dreams of any conqueror. There is no one way to win in this game, only different ways to enjoy your story as it unfolds. Next, hotkey enter, minimize tutorial, escape or home.
Okay, so as you can see, those are buttons at the bottom, next and minimize tutorial. I can either press the hotkeys, in this case enter or home or escape, or I can do what I'm probably going to do and route my mouse to it and left click. I think most people would tend to use the laptop keyboard because it's slightly more convenient. So for us,
next, hotkey enter.
Mouse routing is insert shift plus M. So I move my NVDA cursor onto next, insert shift M.
Unknown.
My mouse moves down, and then I do insert left click.
Left click.
And it clicks it. And you heard the little click noise, although my NVDA probably drowned it out a little, but it was there. And now we have a new tutorial screen. There are easier ways to do this, which I'll show next, but that's the basic NVDA way to do it, and the way you'll probably see me doing most because I'm old-fashioned and been playing this game for a while, and I'm just used to that. But I hit escape to close my OCR window, and I'm opening it again.
Recognize tutorial, introduction, basics, 1 out of 3.
And let's let it do some talking.
Crusader Kings 3 spans hundreds of years and many generations. For now we'll keep the game paused while we walk you through some game concepts. First, let's make sure auto hotkey works, because we need it to dismiss tooltips. These are pop-ups with additional information that appear when you place the cursor on certain buttons or values or terms. The only way to dismiss a tooltip is by moving the mouse away. With auto hotkey we can do it by pressing Ctrl-D. If you don't have auto hotkey yet, please grab it from the Discord server. Now, let's practice. On the next page there is a sentence with a tooltip. Place the cursor on it with NVDA divide or NVDA shift M and rescan the screen to read it. Skip lesson next, hotkey enter, minimize.
Yeah, so that is what I was saying. NVDA divide, I think it means NVDA slash, but it's gonna say divide is the version on the laptop keyboard, or on the desktop keyboard, my apologies. It uses the NVDA plus numpad slash, so that's also an option. I just use laptop because I find it more convenient. But speaking of slash, you don't need to do any of that yourself. There is a nice option in the auto hotkey script. If I press my slash
Skip
key,
lesson. Next,
when I'm focused on this next button, it will click and then rescan OCR for me. So
recognizing result document.
That is really nice and neat, and I should use it a lot more than I do, but you're probably not going to see me use it ever again because I've just learned to do mouse routing and left clicking manually. The slash method is probably better in every way. But let's have a look at this. This is tooltips. We'll talk about those in a second.
This sentence has a tooltip. Back B. Next.
Yes.
Hotkey
Okay.
enter.
So a tooltip is basically if you hover your mouse over it with NVDA shift M or NVDA slash, as discussed earlier, it will open extra information. So if I
next back, this sentence has a
go
tooltip.
up here, I'm using Control right arrow now. It's standard NVDA.
Sent as a tooltip.
I'm on tooltip. I use NVDA shift M, and I can rescan my screen.
This sentence has a tooltip. Well done. Tooltips can have tooltips of their own too. For example, many values in the game have tooltips, explaining how they are calculated. Now, dismiss the tooltip with Control D and continue.
Yes, okay.
You should hear a rustling sound, confirming that the hotkey worked. Hotkey worked. Sounds can be disabled with Shift F12.
Yes, I do have my sounds off. Let me turn them on so you can actually hear it. So if I use Control D, didn't do it. Lovely. I know I didn't do it. Huh. There should be a noise there if I try.
Result document.
No, apparently my version
tutorial,
is... Oops,
hotkey
I
home.
close the tutorial. Right, ignoring that. My sounds apparently don't want to turn back on. But yeah, there is a sound there. It's not incredibly important, but it is there.
Record tutorial, practice tooltips, basic.
Yes, so we've done the tooltip, and I will click on next again with Slash.
Recognizing result document.
I'll show where tooltips are used in the actual game in a minute, but that's basically how they work.
Tutorial, auto hotkey, basics, 3 out of 3. Auto hotkey also helps us speed up OCR. To click and scan the screen, you can press /. Usually this button is next to enter. This will move the cursor to the current object. Click it, move the cursor away to avoid any tooltips. Press escape to exit OCR results and perform an OCR scan again. This script uses insert for NVDA actions. If you've disabled insert, press Control caps lock or Control numpad insert to assign it as your NVDA key. A couple more useful keys, Shift /, move the cursor without clicking to show a tooltip and scan again. Control Shift D, dismiss the tooltip and scan the screen. Grab key or backtick, exit OCR results and scan again. This key is usually below escape. More hotkeys can be found in the escape menu, but you will learn them as we continue. Note, after you press next, there will be 1 second delay before the next lesson appears. Back, B, next, hotkey enter.
So yeah, the tutorial has basically just summed up what I was saying there and given you some extra hotkey keys that I, again, probably won't use because I'm old-fashioned and played the game before they existed. But they exist and they're really good and I should use them more. So yeah, let's continue. I'm just going to hit enter. And then I'll hit grab.
Recognizing.
Which will rescan the screen for me.
Tutorial, practice tooltips, basics, 2 out of 3. This sentence has a tooltip. Back,
that
next,
the game has been
crusader.
annoying. Okay.
So
I hit enter again, and I'll hit enter again.
Recognizing. Tutorial, rulers
Here we
of
go.
land.
Now it opened. That was the game being weird, and I don't like it. Probably because my OCR was focused on something else, but it doesn't really matter. That was just one of those things.
Tutorial, rulers of land, map, 1 out of 4.
Yeah, okay, so now we're getting into the actual game concepts. That was the mod and auto hotkey bit of the tutorial. I think is pretty much done. There'll still be the odd thing, but nothing major. Now we're focused on the actual game.
Now, let's talk about the game. You play one of many characters in this world and hold a Duchy of Munster, or a petty kingdom, as it was called in Ireland. A duchy is a landed title, and titles give you power and control over territory, as well as over other characters, who may hold titles and land of their own. The smallest titles are baronies that grant control over holdings. These can be castles, cities, temples or tribes. Baronies are grouped into counties, counties into duchies, duchies into kingdoms and kingdoms into empires. Not all titles are created at the start of the game. For example, there is no King of Ireland yet, but you might change that. Skip lesson next, hotkey enter.
Right, so that is probably a little confusing for anyone new to the game. Basically, each title controls the titles below it. So a count is someone who has one county and he controls all of the baronies in that county. Baronies are like villages, cities, castles, temples, just all the little individual settlements that are in the county X. Then a duke can hold some counties of his own, and usually, well, not usually, always would hold at least one, but then can also have vassals, so people who pay him allegiance, who are counts. And then it goes up, kings can hold counties, hold duchies, and have vassals of dukes, and it goes up again. Emperors can hold kingdoms, duchies, counties, can have vassals that are kings, dukes, or even counts, even though that's pretty rare. And yeah, there's nothing really above empire. You can't play as just a baron because you're so small it's barely worth it, and the game would just lag if all of them were playable. But you can play as a count up to a emperor from the start of the game. So basically whatever you want to start as. I would recommend starting with something slightly smaller. A lot of people say duchy is probably the best rough starting size for a new player, which is why this is this tutorial. It gives you a nice little duchy with very few counties to play around with. And your neighbours aren't really that strong or that aggressive, so it should be very easy to just become king and slowly build up your titles. So yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about holdings and how you hold them in a minute.
Skip lesson.
No, I don't want to do that.
Next, hotkey enter. Crusader.
Like that, and scan
Record
again.
tutorial. Borders. Map. 2 out of 4. To view your character, press F1. There is quite a lot of information, and we will gradually walk you through it. For now, try opening the lists of your counties. They are hotkey to number 1. From there you can use other numbers to switch tabs to holdings, titles or claims. Once you're done, press home to reopen the tutorial and continue. Back, B. Next, hotkey enter. Minimize tutorial.
So yeah, that's walking you through the character screen. Let's go. If I hit F1, it opens my character page. So this is where any information about your character is displayed, anything you want to know. We don't need any of it right now, except to see what counties we have. So I hit 1.
Rep Petty King Mercad Mac Donchard.
First, it says our name. That is us.
Showing county titles. Reload with Shift E.
And yeah, we are showing the titles we own that are counties.
Tab 1, 3 counties. Tab 2, 2 holdings. Tab 3, 3 titles.
And
Tab 4,
yeah, now
1
it
claim.
gets into the more confusing area. We can now view the individual holding. We're viewing the counties. We can view the holdings in those counties. We can view the actual titles that we own, or we can view the things we have a claim to. All of those are slightly bigger things. We'll get to them in a minute. But for now, we hold the following counties.
All 3 of your counties are Catholic. Filter out F.
Ignore this for now.
All 3 2 personal counties, sorted by distance, T to use tax. Thomond, capital, Irish,
So,
Catholic.
We hold the county of Thomond, which is our capital. Its people are Irish, shockingly in Ireland, and they believe in Catholicism. And we also hold
Ennis, 11 days north, Irish, Catholic.
Ennis, which is 11 days north of our capital, roughly. Their people are also Irish, again, shocker, and Catholic. So, pretty good county situation. And then, if we go down one more,
1 vassal counties.
our vassal county. This is someone else holds this county. It'll tell us who when I look at it. And he owes us his allegiance. So we are his liege, it's called. He gives us money and he gives us some of his soldiers. And in return, if anyone tries to come and take his land, we fight the war for him and defend him. That's the feudalism in a nutshell, basically. There's some more complicated things to it, but we don't need to talk about those right now.
Ormond, 35 days southeast, Catholic, Irish, Earl Ragnvold of Ormond.
There you go. So we hold Ormond. It is away to the southeast. It is also Irish and Catholic. And Earl Ragnvold, who sounds kind of Norse, and I don't really like that, is holding it. So if I wanted to, I could focus on him and click and open his character, see his stats, see his family, see everything about him. We don't need to right now, so I'm going to close this page with F1
Crusader
again.
King.
We'll close it down. And then hit home to bring back the tutorial and hit next.
Record tutorial, vassals, map, 3 out of 4.
Here we go. Yeah, it's going to explain now the thing I just talked about, which is vassals.
As you've seen, one of your counties is controlled by a vassal. As a ruler, you can only hold so much land on your own, and you will often have other rulers helping with the administration of the realm by holding land, titles, within your borders, making them your vassals. You in return are called their liege. Vassals pay a portion of the taxes and levies they get from their holdings to their liege. Both you and your vassal are feudal rulers and can only own castle holdings directly, and any cities and temples in your counties are held by mayors and priests. They will always remain loyal to their liege. Only counts and higher can be independent and playable. Back, B. Next, hotkey enter.
A lot of that is a bit too much information, I think. I don't think some of that is necessary to really worry about. Basically, you live in a castle. The other holdings are held by someone else. You don't need to care about them too much. They're basically irrelevant. They are sometimes good sources of stats, and that's about it. And yeah, other than that, like I said, they give you money, they give you soldiers. If someone comes to take their land, you fight for them. That's the basics of it. So let's continue. I'm not excellent. There we go.
Record tutorial, adjacent rulers, map, 4 out of 4. To get some sense of the political map, we can use the list of our neighbors. Open the character window again with F1 and escape if you still have counties open. On the character view, press Ctrl A to open adjacent realms. The list shows where they are located relative to you, how many soldiers they have and what higher title they would be part of. We will talk more about Tajare later. You can click on anyone to open their character window and then continue to their neighbors as well. You'll notice that England is quite large, but they are currently being invaded by someone with a rather rude nickname. You can open their diplomatic situation with Shift D to learn more. Back, B. I understand. Hotkey.
Right. Let's
Crusader.
do that. So I hit F1, which will open our character page again. Let's see.
Record Petty King Mercad Mac. Showing county titles.
Yeah, we are
Reload
still
with
showing
Shift
the
E.
county titles.
Crusader
So I
King
hit
Dion.
escaped, close that down, and hit Control plus A to open up
Record Petty King
our
showing 10 neighbors. And 5
neighbors.
adjacent counties.
These guys are the people you will learn to hate. All of your neighbors. It's very rare you have a friendly neighbor because you eventually probably want to take their stuff and they want to take yours. So let's have a look.
10 rulers, expanded, E. 5 independent. Connaught, 2 counties,
So,
northeast
we have
786
the
men,
Duke of Connaught.
in Ireland.
De jure, we will talk about, like it says, I'll talk about that when the tutorial talks about that. It's kind of complicated and annoying. We can get into that in a minute.
Athlone, 1 county, northeast 529 men, in Meath, Ireland.
Yeah, this poor guy is a count. He's not a duke. He's just a 1 county man who holds his own land, and we're probably going to take it off him in a minute. I can't remember exactly who the tutorial has you do a war on, but I think it might be this poor lad. So, his days are numbered.
Desmond, 1 county,
Again,
southwest
another count.
437 men,
Could be this guy
in Munster,
either.
Ireland.
Probably this guy either.
Ossory,
And then
1
another
county,
county.
east 429 men, in Leinster, Ireland. Leinster, 1 county, southeast 427
Yeah,
men,
so-
in Leinster, Ireland.
That's another county.
5 across water.
And now we're looking at people who are across a sea from us. So they're not in Ireland itself.
England, 40 counties, southeast
That is England.
2,359
They
men,
are big.
at war in Britannia.
But, as you can see, they are at war. So someone is currently invading England. They're going to have some fun with that, I imagine. We'll look at that in a second. But we also have...
Bath, 4 counties,
I'm
southeast
not going to
1261
try,
men,
but that
in Wales.
place, which is the out part of Wales, it's its own thing. I'm not trying to say that name.
Dublin, 1 county.
We have
northeast
Dublin, which is
547
part
men,
of Ireland,
in
but
Meath,
there's
Ireland.
a big river, I think, between us. So, yeah, that's another part of Ireland.
Ailech, 1 county.
That's
northeast
also a part of Ireland.
537 men, in Ulster, Ireland. Briefn, 1 county, northeast 437 men, in Connaught, Ireland.
As is that.
5 adjacent counties.
And then these are the adjacent
Athlone,
counties. I'm
northeast-
just gonna, yeah, it's basically what we've already read, so I can close it down now.
Cru-
And those are the people around us. Oh, I forgot to look at England. Let me do that really quickly, so we can see. So I've seen England is at war. If I click on England, it shows us.
At war, King Harold XI Godwinson, of Godwin,
This
44
is-
years, fine health. Click to interact.
This is the current King of England, and he's at war, as you can see. It's written right up in front of his name. It'll do that for a few other things, like pregnant or some things like
Climate
that
plus
are important to
6.5
know
in-
about. I'm going to ignore all of
Crusade.
those and hit Shift D, which will bring up
At showing diplomacy. 2
his
items.
diplomacy,
Show details.
which
Shift D.
includes his wars, if he has an ally with someone, if he has a truce with someone. We'll talk about some of that later. Basically, this is a tab you probably want to check before you go to war with someone, and one I always forget to check before I go to war with someone.
0% defending against Harald Hard ruler in the Norwegian invasion of England.
So some lads from Norway are invading him. Ignore the 0%. We'll talk about that in a second.
2,400 men against 4,200. War started
It's-
the 1st of August, 1066.
It's not looking great for him. He only has 2,000 men. They have 4,000.
0% defending against William the Bastard in the Norman conquest of England.
And yes, William the Bastard is also coming in from Normandy.
2,400 men against 7,300.
And
War
that
started
one looks
the 8th
even
of
worse
September,
for poor Harold.
1066.
It's really not looking like he's going to have a great time. Perhaps we'll check on him again in a little bit to see how he's getting on once we actually unpause the game. Because right now the game is paused. Nothing is happening until I press a button and unpause it. Which we
Open
won't be doing
tutorial,
for a bit.
hotkey home.
So I'm going to close this down. There we go. And open up our tutorial again.
Record sheet to get some sense of the political
There, we've
open
read this. So
Crusader
let's
Kings
skip to the next
III.
one. There we go.
Record sheet to get some sense of the political map. We can use the list of our neighbors. Open the character window.
Game.
Minimum. I understand. Hotkey enter. Crusader Kings III. Rec tutorial traits character 2 out of 3. Carrots you are
can I
temporal wrathful
go
impatient from
back?
set
Sorry,
some
I
space
seem
when a
to
cap
have
can be back
accidentally
next
skipped.
back B.
There we go.
Crusader rec tutorial skills character
Now,
1 out of 3.
Sorry about that. I accidentally skipped a piece of the tutorial, which is very important because this is talking about your character. So let's read this.
Now let's return to our petty King Murkard and learn more about him. Characters have skills, indicating their proficiency within a certain field. Some are great talkers, while others prefer to make their intent clear on the battlefield. Press F1 to go back to your own character. Then you can press 3 to jump to the personality section and 1 to focus on skills. You can place the cursor on each of your skills to see tooltips and learn what contributes to them and what effects they have. Reminder, you can use Shift/ to do it quicker and dismiss with Control D. The main skills are diplomacy, improving others' opinion of you, martial, raising and commanding armies, stewardship, managing your personal lands, intrigue, scheming and finding secrets, learning, studying theology and technology, prowess, fighting in duels or battles as a knight. Skip lesson next, hotkey enter.
Yeah, so it's overviewed the skills very neatly for me there. I think looking at exactly what contributes to them and their exact effects tends to be a bit confusing, and it's not hugely important, so I probably won't go through each of them,
Skip lesson.
but I will have a quick look Oops, wrong key. Yeah, here we are.
Record petty crew.
Let's look at our skills.
Personality.skills. Skills. Diplomacy 5.
So we are a horrific diplomat, which is not good.
Martial 17.
However, we are an excellent commander, so we can lead men very well.
Stewardship 9.
We are a poor steward. We can't really administer our realm, but we're not horrible. 10 is about average. So anything below 10 bad, anything above 10 good. 9 to 11 is also considered average.
Intrigue 7.
Intrigue is not good. We are not a spy master. We can't really assassinate people, unfortunately. We can't seduce people. None of that.
Learning 4.
Oh, Jesus. Our learning is abysmal. We don't know a thing. Learning is about usually like medicine, scholarship, and theology. So we're very bad at any of that.
Prowess 9.
And our prowess is shockingly also very bad. So we're not great in physical combat either. We're much better at standing at the back and telling our troops who to stab.
Open tutorial.
So let's have a look at Martial because it's our
17.
best skill. So if I do //
Result document. Tooltip. Martial 17. Excellent.
Yes, it tells us that 17 is very good. That's a very good martial score.
Base 8.
Our base stat is 8. I'm not fully certain what makes up your base stat. It's a combo of things. I'm not really going to get too concerned about it.
Wrathful +3.
And then we're getting bonuses. So we have the trait. We'll talk about traits in a second. Wrathful, which increases our martial by 3.
Skilled Tactician +6.
We have the trait Skilled Tactician, which increases it by 6.
Effects.
And here are the effects of a martial score.
Army gold maintenance, gold 9%.
Okay, that's one of the weird issues. That's saying gold minus 9%. So we pay less to maintain our armies, but
Gold main to gold not spec GOLD dash.
the dash there, my NVDA is not reading it out. So sometimes you do have to check like that
9.
just to see, okay, this is why this is a minus, this is a plus. Normally it does read it out though.
Army toughness +9%.
There we go. So our armies are tougher.
Levy reinforcement rate +22%.
Levies are our peasant soldiers. They're the mob of lads with pitchforks and torches. Well, no. They're farmers, they're peasants. They aren't trained as soldiers. They just go out and they're the main bulk of our army and they're not very good, but we need them. So our levies refill faster. If we lead our peasants off in a big war and they all get killed, they'll regenerate faster than somebody who had less martial.
Travel safety +17.
Travel safety, I'm going to ignore because that's a DLC thing and we'll talk about that probably much later.
Increases advantage when commanding armies in combat.
And that is when you're in a battle, you have what's called advantage, which is how much more damage does your army do than the other person's. And because we're good at commanding soldiers, we get more of that.
Increases advantage when commanding
And
armies.
that's the end of martial, so I will control D to get rid of that.
Crusader Kings III.
I will close down our character window because we don't need that anymore. I just tapped escape until you heard that little tutung and it went away. And I'll open up the tutorial page again.
Let's return to our petty king Merkid and learn more about him. Characters have skills, indicating their
we'll
others
skip
prefer
this
what them
because
diplomacy.
we read
Mark
this.
man intrigue learns to proud fight next
I could just
minimize
press
next
enter, but I didn't for some reason, so whoops.
Crusader record 2 characters also have traits which can affect skills as well as how they react to things. You can close skills with escape and press 2 to focus on traits. You are temperate, wrathful, impatient. From this, you can see that your character typically leads a modest life and expects others to do the same and is quick to anger when they don't. Some traits tell you about a character's personality, like fickle, calm, or generous. Other traits are specific to how a character has lived their life, such as an education trait or commander traits. When a character chooses to behave contrary to their personality traits, it can cause them stress which can lead to mental breaks and lower health. Back, B, next.
Yeah, stress is bad.
Crusade.
Stress is really bad. Basically, as that said, your traits tell you your personality. So, as it said, we're wrathful, temperate, and impatient, I believe. So that tells us what type of person our character is. And if you take decisions that go against that trait, like, say, because we're impatient, if we chose that to wait for something, or because we're wrathful, if we chose not to get angry at a situation, not to choose the violent approach, we could gain stress for that. On the contrary, because we're wrathful, if we chose to lash out and get angry, then we could lose stress. And yeah, stress is very bad. But I'm not going to go through each trait individually. You can do that when you need them. Nobody remembers all the traits. It's not that important. Tooltip them if you need to know what they do. And you'll eventually have a general idea from all of them. So let's just carry on.
Record tutorial, traits, character, 3 out of 3. Traits can also impact how other characters react to you. Some people are impressed by the brave trait, while a lustful character is more likely to feature in salacious gossip. Traits influence other characters' morality and greed, which can affect both their friendly and hostile actions. All characters, yes, all, have an opinion of one another, which drives their behavior. Low opinion can cause people to rise up against you or be unwilling to help you. High opinion can, on the other hand, make characters more inclined to join your schemes. How you choose to interact with other characters will often affect their opinion of you. Back B.
Yeah, so like it says, your traits and the other character's traits determine your opinion of them and their opinion of you. Your opinion of them doesn't really matter because you are controlling your character. You won't get stressed for, I don't know, sending a gift to someone your character hates or anything, but it is there. Something it didn't mention that I will briefly talk about is religion. Some traits are seen as virtues by a certain religion, like Catholics like the generous trait. So any Catholic character will gain an opinion bonus if you're generous. On the contrary, Catholics do not like the lustful trait, so you will lose opinion for being lustful with Catholics. Let's continue. There we go.
Record go back to King Harold.
Sorry, it took a second for the tutorials to load.
Record tutorial, gold, resources, 1 out of 3.
Here we go. Now, these are there are 3 resources in the game: gold, prestige, and piety. They're the 3 main resources, so it's going to break them down for you in a moment.
Tutorial, gold, resources, 1 out of 3. To further your goals you will need gold. Among other things, gold pays for buildings, armies, and bribes. Gold is collected passively from both your holdings and your vassals as tax at the end of each month. Larger vassals and more important holdings tend to give more tax. However, money can't buy everything. Certain things can only be achieved by spending the right amount of prestige or, for religious matters, piety. You can quickly access your gold, prestige, and piety by pressing R. Open the tooltip for any of your resources to see how they are produced and spent. Press R again or escape to close that view. Skip lesson next.
Yeah, let's have a look at gold, because gold is possibly the most important of
plus 3.4 per month.
Holy hell, we've a lot of money.
1,136.
So we've 1,136 gold. I think because the tutorial likes us and wants us to be rich. So I'm going to have a look at that.
Red gold, 1,136. Income plus 3.
So we are making plus 3 gold every month.
Monthly income. Domain plus 4.0.
So domain is our personally held lands. That's giving us 4 gold.
Vassal taxes plus 0.4.
Our vassals are giving us 0.4 gold in tax.
Total plus 4.4.
For a total of plus 4.4.
Monthly expenses.
However,
unrealized men at arms minus 1.0.
We are paying some of our soldiers 1 gold per month.
Total minus 1.0.
That's our only expense.
Minus 1.0.
Which gets us our current income. It's not hugely important, but if you're losing money, sometimes you can look at that and say, okay, I need to cut down on my army, or I need to fire some of these people I'm employing, etc.
Open tutorial.
I'll reopen the tutorial.
To further gold, however, you can
risk continue.
Hotkey. Crusader record tutorial. Prestige resources 2 out of 3.
Prestige.
Your prestige tells you how respected you are. It can be earned passively over time, by holding many titles, for example, or actively, such as by marrying into prestigious dynasties or fighting as an ally in wars. Whenever you earn prestige, you build towards your next level of fame. Higher levels of fame make other characters think better of you and bring powerful ways to wage war. Some actions cost prestige, like declaring war. These actions allow you to leverage your celebrity for your own benefit, and characters won't think less of you for using them. Spending prestige does not affect your level of fame progress, just your current prestige. Back B. Next.
Yeah, so prestige is just how well regarded you are and how well regarded you are, how good a PR department you have, pretty much. Like it says, you mainly spend that to go to war. It's not hugely expensive. You usually aren't stopped from going to war by prestige. It's usually just something you forget about. At least for me, I kind of always forget I spend prestige every time I go to war because it's a very small amount, and you usually get more back by winning the war than you have spent to do it. So it's not a huge issue. But the higher your fame level, the more things you can do. I'll show some of those decisions in a little bit. Let's have another look.
Record tutorial, piety, resources, 3 out of 3. With a lot of piety, you will have an easier time interacting with your head of faith, as you are Catholic. This is the Pope. Piety can be gained passively from the learning skill and virtuous traits, or actively from pious actions, such as going on a pilgrimage. You also have a level of devotion, which builds over time whenever you gain piety and can have positive effects for your character. Similar to prestige, some actions require you to spend piety, like declaring holy wars or creating a new faith. Spending piety like this is normal, and other characters won't think worse of you for it. Back B. I understand.
Yeah.
Cruise.
So like it said, piety is basically similar to prestige, but for religion. It's how pious you are. How much do you look like you're a devout Christian / whatever religion your character happens to be. A cynical character, which means someone who doesn't really believe in the religion, can still have hugely high piety. It's more how you're perceived than how you actually are. So yeah, carrying on.
Record tutorial, lifestyle, 1 out of 2.
Okay, lifestyles. I'll let the tutorial explain, then I'll fill in any gaps as per usual.
As well as traits, your character can also pick a lifestyle. There are 5 lifestyles, 1 for each skill. You can open lifestyles with Control F. Lifestyles represent what you put the most effort into day to day, and each one has several focuses inside relating to it. Every focus gives you a unique bonus and makes events associated with that focus more likely to happen. As time goes by, your character will earn lifestyle experience for maintaining a particular lifestyle. When you acquire enough lifestyle experience, you can select one of that lifestyle's perks from any of its trees. Perks represent you practicing and developing yourself over time and offer unique bonuses, like special traits, or unlock lifestyle-specific mechanics and content, such as the ability to start abduct schemes. As an example, the strategy, authority, and chivalry focuses all grant martial experience, which can be used to acquire any of the martial lifestyles perks. Completing perk trees leads to different lifestyle traits. Skip lesson next, hotkey enter.
Okay, so that's probably very
Crusader
confusing and a lot of detail. But in essence, lifestyles are how you improve your character. You pick one of the skills, there's a lifestyle for each of the skills, save prowess, and you pick one of those, you pick a focus, and you get XP. And you can use that XP to buy new perks that can let you do different things, like you are better at sieging, or you're better at defending your own territory, or you can abduct people, which, all very fun things you can do. So let's continue.
Record tutor, press Control F to open lifestyles. Select any lifestyle to see its focuses and perks. Then select any focus you like. There is no wrong choice. You may use hotkeys from 1 to 5 to quickly select them. The tutorial will progress automatically on completion. To continue, choose a focus. Back, B, I understand, disabled. Minimize tutorial.
So let's go into the lifestyles menu. I hit Control F, and we are in...
Choose lifestyle.
The choose a lifestyle menu, not lifestyle, Jesus. So yeah, like I said, for each of the skills, there is a lifestyle. I'm going to look at the martial lifestyle because that's our highest stat. That doesn't mean it's always the one you should pick. It's usually the one you want to start with, though. You can change during your life and usually do.
1. Diplomacy.
So that's diplomacy. We don't really care about that, so I'll skip down.
Focus on understanding people and their motives, how to handle other realms, and how to win the unwavering loyalty of your subjects.
Yeah, that's the description of diplomacy. It is a very nice lifestyle as well, but we don't want that right now.
2. Martial. Because of your martial education, you gain 30% more experience in this lifestyle.
Yes. As you saw earlier on, we have the trait Skilled Tactician, which is an education trait. So that means our character has been educated in martial matters and in how to lead armies. And because of this, we gain more experience in this lifestyle, which is good. So we will earn perks in this lifestyle much faster.
Focus on control of your realm, honorable conduct, and the strategies that will win your wars. 8 out of 27 perks. Perks to unlock. Oh.
Yes. We already have some perks, in fact. So we'll have a look in a minute and see what the game has put us down. That's based on your character's age. The older your character is, the more perks they will have, and it'll be in whatever their education focus is. So if we had, say, one of the intrigue education traits, we would have intrigue perk instead.
3. Stewardship.
But we want to go 2, so it opens the martial page, and you can hear the little noise. There are different ones of those for each lifestyle.
Recognize martial lifestyle. Change lifestyle perks unlocked 8 out of 27. Experience 0 out of 1000. Hide focuses and show perks, F.
So we have the focuses and perks. So we're going to pick a focus first.
Current, no focus.
We are not on this lifestyle right now.
Because of your martial luck and win a duel. F1, strategy focus.
Which focus do we want?
Luck and win a duel. A fool can win a battle. It takes more to win a war. Focusing on strategy grants. Martial, +3.
So this gives us a flat martial bonus.
Martial experience, 32/month.
And some XP.
2, authority focus. To rule is to make all the aspects of a realm move in unison and work together. Focusing on martial, +1. Dread gain, +20%. Control growth, +0.3/month. Martial experience, 32/3. Shiver.
Okay, dread and control I'm going to ignore for now, so we'll come back to that one probably in another video. It's a little complex for this intro, so we're going to ignore that one for now.
Victory comes not through blood or gold, but honor.
Oh, sorry.
3.
This is
Chivalry
the
focus.
chivalry focus.
Vic focusing on chivalry grants. Prowess, +3.
So that makes us better at fighting in a duel or in melee combat.
Attraction opinion, +10.
And people like us more because we're good at stabbing people. Generally, a great sign in a future partner.
Advantage, +5.
And we get more battle advantage, which is very nice.
Martial experience, 32/9.
And we get the same XP. I think they all grant the same XP. I can't be certain, but I'm 90% sure they all do.
Martial experience.
But we're going to go with chivalry because prowess, we saw our prowess was low before, and we want to increase that a little if we're going to fight. So I'm going to hit 3.
Select chivalry focus. Victory comes
and it shows a little blurb
focus
of what
prowess
chivalry
attract
gives you
advantage
again.
martial base. Skill can only be changed every 5 years.
Yeah, you can only change your focus every 5 years.
Cancel. Select.
But I'm happy with
enter.
that, so I'm going to hit enter, and it has been selected. And now the tutorial is probably ready to continue, but I want to have a look at our perks first. So let's pop over there. There are three perk trees, that is very hard to say, for each lifestyle that roughly correspond with each of the focuses. But just because you're in the one focus doesn't mean you have to go down a specific tree. They just tend to match up a little.
Recognizing.
So let's see which tree we have been put down.
Change lifestyle. G perks unlocked 8 out. Show focuses and hide 1. Strategist. 9 perks. O unlocked.
So we have not unlocked any in the strategist tree.
2. Overseer. 9 perks. O unlocked.
We have unlocked nothing in the overseer tree. However,
3. Gallant. 9 perks. 8 unlocked.
We have unlocked 8 of the gallant perks. So let's look at these.
Crusade Rec Gallant. Note that perk trees are not linear. See the structure below.
Yeah, these trees, you have to get certain perks to unlock other ones. And they're not linear. You can look at the structure. It's a little confusing, but the game will tell you what you can and can't unlock. So I'm not going to worry about it too much right now.
Unchecked. Show paths.
Yeah, we don't want to see
show
any
effects,
of this.
E.
I will turn on show effects. So I
Crusade
clicked on that.
Uncheck 1.
I use space. It doesn't work for most people. It's weird.
Check 1. Stalwart leader. Unlocked.
So this is one of the perks we have, which gives us
Prowess. +4.
more prowess.
Foot. Hostility. Trait experience gain.
Ignore.
Reduces the risks of commanding armies.
It makes it less likely we get killed.
May challenge rivals to single combat,
And
inflicting stress if you win.
if we have an enemy, someone we really don't like, I'll get into relationships probably in another video as well, we can beat them up in a duel.
2. Courtship. Unlocked.
We also have this one.
Romance scheme power. +30%.
We can romance people easier.
Elope scheme power. +30%.
We can elope easier, even though I don't know how to do that.
Romance success chance. +30.
And yeah,
Elope success
I'll
3.
skip all this.
Promising prospects. Unlocked. Marriage acceptance for yourself. +50.
People are more likely to marry us. That's the sort of thing perks are. I won't go through all of them. You can do that on your own time like this. It's very easy. You can just show effects. It'll tell you all the effects, and you can tooltip any of these you want to if they're unclear, but most are pretty clear. Nonetheless,
Crusade.
let's go back out to our friend the tutorial.
RecTube. Now, having selected a focus, we can move on to other people.
And we're going to look at others.
Interacting with other characters is key in Crusader Kings 3, and you have many options for how to do so. You may have noticed the prompt in the character window. You can click a character's name to interact with them, including your own. This will open a list of potential interactions, such as arranging a marriage or starting a scheme. This is also where you start wars, but let's save that for later. You can also right-click character names wherever they appear in other windows to open this menu. If the list is large, some interactions may be hidden, so you'll need to press more actions to show them. Skip lesson next. Hotkey enter. Minimize tutorial.
You can do lots and lots of things with different characters, and that's where one of the key kind of confusion points I think for a lot of people come up. This is not a empire focused game. You are not playing a kingdom, you're playing a character who is the ruler of a kingdom. So yes, you are managing your kingdom and you are moving your armies and you are making decisions for the kingdom, but primarily you are the character and you are the family. So the most important thing for you to do is to ensure your family lives on, because that's how you keep playing. If your family dies out, the game is over and you start again. Because a lot of people come into CK3 expecting something more like Hearts of Iron, where you do play as a country and you don't really care about the specific leader. But in CK, the leader is a lot more important than the country. So let's advance.
Tutorial, send gift, interacting, 2 out of 3.
Okay.
Let's start with the basics. Everybody likes gold. Try sending a bribe to your player heir. Open your character with F1. Find your heir, Brian, and open interactions with him. You can do it in 2 ways. Right-click his name. You may use / for it, or select him. You may use page down or shift F2 and click his name in his view. Find send gift interaction and confirm. Most interactions will bring up a second window with details when selected. You can confirm or cancel an action in this window. To continue, confirm a send gift interaction with your heir. Back, B. Next,
Okay.
disabled.
So I'm going to hit F1 again, and that that brings up our character.
Next, recognizing Petty King Murkard MacDonchard,
Our-
Byron 39
yeah,
years,
our guy.
fine health. Click to interact.
And as it said, if I hit page down, or there was a new keystroke added for anyone without page up and down keys, which is Shift F2, it'll open our heir. So this is who will inherit our titles when we die. In this case, it's our son. It could be our brother, our sister, or someone completely outside of our family, which would mean the game would end if this character dies. In this case, it's not. It's our son, so we're fine. So I'll page down.
Brian McMurkard, Brian 18 years,
Here's Brian.
fine health.
He's
Click to
18.
interact.
He's a child. Well, no, he's not a child. He is an adult per this game. You can look the same as we did with our character at any of his skills, his land. He doesn't have any, but if he did, we could. Any detail you would like, but we don't need to right now. I'm going to click on his name.
Recognizing result document. Interact with Brian McMurkard Brian.
We can interact with him, which we would like to do.
Pin to outliner, hotkey
I'll
O.
ignore that for
Filter
now.
by category, F.
Yeah, you can filter. So I know we want a diplomatic action on this guy right now. Or no, sorry, personal even. So if I wanted to, I could filter that to just that category. I won't right now just to show you all the options, but
2 diplomacy actions.
we can
Arrange marriage.
Arrange a marriage for him.
Find
We
spouse.
can find him a spouse. Those are similar. We'll explain the difference in a minute.
5 personal actions.
We
Sway
can
scheme.
sway him, which is a way to make him like us more. The game will show us sway schemes in a minute, I think.
Send gift.
Or we can send him a gift, which is what we want to do right now. So I found it. I will use slash again.
Recognizing result document. Send gift window.
Send gift window.
We'll accept.
He will accept. Shockingly, he will take our money. I wonder why.
Confirm send gift. Hotkey
So
enter.
if we want to do it, we can hit confirm. But first, let's look how much money we giving him.
Will happen. Effects on you. Pays gold 50 to Brian Bryan.
So we give him 50 gold, which for us is very little. We have 1,000 something. 50 isn't going to break the bank.
Effects on Brian
And
McMurkard
he
Brian gains 15 opinion of you.
gains-
Minus 3 o'clock/year. Received gift.
15 opinion of us, and it goes down by 3 every year. So yeah, makes sense to real life. Like, you don't remember a gift forever. But if we need opinion with him for some reason, we can get it by doing that.
Open tutorial.
So I'm going to hit enter, and it will send him a
Brian
gift.
McMurkard plus 100
I can
approved.
close down his window because I don't need him anymore and go back to the tutorial.
Well done, well done. You have successfully increased somebody's opinion of you. Note that you don't have to keep your heir's opinion quite so high, we're just using it as an example. Opinion ranges from minus 100 to plus 100. Certain opinion modifiers last forever, like family bonds. Others will wane over time, like the fading memory of receiving a monetary gift. If you open your heir's window and place your cursor over his opinion of you, it will show where exactly the various numbers are coming from. Is it due to a marriage alliance, a gift of gold, or simply that they appreciate your honest nature? If you close the tutorial, you'll find an update on the screen. Backspace will open the update feed. This is where mildly interesting but non-critical information appears and goes away after a little while when unpaused. Back, B. Show me
Yeah,
again I understand.
so-
Hotkey enter.
I'll close down the tutorial and pull this up.
Update. Sent gift, 0 days ago. You paid gold 50 to Brian Bryan. Brian Bryan gained 15 opinion of you, minus 3 o'clock/year, received gift. Select Brian. Dismiss all, Shift D.
This is a little notification that just tells us what happened. In this case, we know because we did it, but sometimes that can be that someone has gone to war, or someone has sent you money, or something like that, or any number of things. These are usually important to check, but they're not as critical as something as other updates that'll come in a minute. So let's reopen this tutorial.
Well done. You have successfully
And
increased somebody's your
Yep,
crusade
there we go.
record. Go back show shortcuts.
Oh, it's,
Crusader record tutorial.
there we go.
Playing a family dynasty 1 out of 3.
Yeah, this is just going to explain what I explained a minute ago.
Next, let's talk about your dynasty. As the game goes on, unless your character meets with an untimely accident or terrible disease, they will grow old and, eventually, die. The story doesn't end there, it's only game over if you do not have an heir of your own dynasty. As long as your titles have heirs of your dynasty, your legacy will live on. When your current character dies, you simply start playing a new one, the player heir. In some cases, when you take over your new character, you may even find that they are responsible for the untimely demise of your previous ruler. Depending on the type of succession your realm has, your heir will likely be one of your children, perhaps one that you have groomed to rule. You only have one heir right now, but let's look anyway. Press F2 to open your realm and 3 to switch to succession. Skip lesson next.
Okay, a lot of succession is complicated. I'm going to explain very little of it right now. We're just going to go with the tutorial. But I'll probably do another video on succession and family management and stuff in the future. But for now, let's have a look.
Change succession law, Confederate partition.
See, our current succession law is there. I'll explain again what that is in another video. It's not really important right now.
All children inherit equally.
Yes, that's what that means. Any kids we have will get a few of our titles, which is not ideal because that breaks up our power a little.
Change gender law, male preference.
Our gender law, men are more likely to inherit than women, or more, I don't know what's the word, preferred. Yeah, men are preferred to inherit because that's historically accurate. You can change that in game rules if you would prefer different starting defaults. I leave it on the historical accurate version, but there are other options.
Agnatic cognatic.
That's the Latin, ignore.
Can't change designated heir, none.
We ignore.
Your heir, Brian McMurcud Brian.
And this is our heir. We looked at him earlier, we gave him money.
Preferred by. C. When you die, preferred by. C, M, and L.
I don't know what that means, so I'm going to ignore it.
When you die, you will play as your player heir. You will inherit from Realms Confederate Partition. Petty Kingdom of Munster.
So we will inherit all of these titles.
Earldom of Thomond. Earldom of Ennis. Open tutorial, hotkey home.
If we had another child, which we may, then it would show that that child would gain some of our titles, which is usually bad and something you want to do something about. But we can come back to that when we get another child, eventually.
Record tube. Next accident. The story doesn't end there, as locked against the uncrucified.
Next.
Record tube. Succession laws determine how all titles and resources are divided between heirs when a character dies. At this time period, most rulers use partition, and if you have multiple heirs, this view will describe how the titles will be partitioned between them. Don't worry, you'll be able to reclaim them, either by force or diplomatic means, and later in the game you can change succession laws away from partition. Of course, you could instead ally your siblings and grow your dynasty together. Back, B.
Yeah,
Next,
but nobody does that, because that's not war, and that's not fun. So let's continue. I'm probably going to stop this first introduction video here, or well, maybe not here, but in a few minutes, because there's a lot of information in here and it's a bit overwhelming. So I will break it up into 2 parts, I think.
Recognize tutorial, renown, dynasty, 3 out of 3. As a member of a dynasty, you also have renown, shared by everyone in your dynasty. Renown grows in several different ways and reflects how famous, or infamous, your dynasty is, rather than just you. Increasing your renown will echo down the generations for your descendants, raising your level of splendor. As the dynasty head, the most powerful member of your dynasty, renown will allow you to unlock dynasty legacies that will benefit all of your kin. You can press F1 and then H to open your house window. There, you can press enter to open legacies. You can't unlock any yet, but feel free to look through them. Note that you can use number keys to quickly choose legacies, but only the first 5 numbers are available as hotkeys. Same applies throughout the game, whenever you find numbered lists. Back, B. I understand.
We're gonna look through some of that later. It's not hugely relevant for right now. It's a slightly more advanced concept, so we'll look at it in another video. Let's continue a little more.
Recognizing tutorial, marriage, 1 out of 3.
Okay, this is now where I
Crusader
think I'm going to break it here. This will be the first little introduction video. I'll finish the tutorial in the next one, go through some of the more complicated systems and probably do our first war, things like that. And then in the next few, I will focus on other systems as we go. So yeah, I hope these helped. I'll try and get the next one out pretty soon. And let me know if there's any opinions, changes, anything like that you would like me to make. So thank you for watching, and goodbye.